All right, everyone. Hope you've all been doing good and hope you've all been doing well. We are back after a little bit with another episode of Speedruns From the Crypt, now back to bi-weekly horror Hotfix. We had some time off there. We were on a bit of a hiatus, a lot of events in between, so we were traveling, but now we're officially back in business. It has been a minute, so hello to all of you once again. That being said, I do want to preface before we begin, while I do have a few things to read, even before that. The episode I had planned today, I planned on doing weeks ago, so if it seems a little bit off topic, there you go. Normally I do this around my actual birthday, which is like August 30th, but it is currently September 11th as the time of recording this, so there it is. But the theme still stands, because I like doing one of these per year. Anyway, before we go into what we're doing today, with that, I do just want to say really quick that Games Done Quick is actually hiring. If you're interested in a full-time role at GDQ, we're looking for a new hotfix manager. If you're looking for part-time work, we're also looking for new showrunners starting in the 2024 Season 4. You go to gamesdonequick.com/jobs to apply. So yeah, there you go, that. As well, registration for GDQ 2025 is now open. Hotel registration opens September 14th, and you can visit gamesdonequick.com for more information. All right, so today's theme. So it was my birthday a couple weeks ago, and whenever that happens, I really like to pick just some of my favorite speedruns. Pretty much, I've been picking the same run, I think, every year for the last 3 years now? I think it's been 3. I've actually been doing this for a minute, but let's say about 3 years now. This is a run I believe a lot in. It is probably one of my favorite ones to watch on this show, and, well, there's a cake in it, so it's fitting. As well, it's just kind of fun to watch how this run has adapted. It has a lot of nice history behind it, and it is a very deep-cut game you probably aren't thinking about. Anyway, you've probably seen this run before if you've been watching for years. If you haven't, I hope you're going to enjoy it. Here is Illbleed any % with Punchy. Take it away.
Hello everyone, I'm Punchy, clad in my avocado hoodie. I put this on because it was cold and then forgot about it, and now it's just, I guess I'm wearing this on the stream. Hope you guys like the fit. And this is Illbleed. Countdown to start. I'm just going to get into it and explain as we go. 3, 2, 1, play ball. Okay, so Illbleed, we take the role of Eriko Christie, who is searching for her missing friends in the horror theme park of Illbleed. There it is. There's a Michael Reynolds Illbleed. First thing I'm going to do the marathon safety strat of, purchasing items. Early game, you have very few recovery items to work with, so getting hit, making one mistake at all, would spell death. That would be bad. And I'm going to level with you guys. This show got delayed, as Ignice has said, so I kind of forgot about it, so I haven't actually touched this game in too long.
Yeah, for a quick point of reference, I think I asked Punchy about this in the beginning of August.
It completely slipped my mind until a couple days before. Anyway, stage 1. That's a trap. The first one is unavoidable, a peculiar choice. I must explain the quirky control system of this game. So Illbleed is fundamentally a game about detecting traps in the environment. We use the horror monitor here. You go into a first-person view and scan the target. And you mark a trap with the A button. And if it is a trap, the trap is disarmed and you do not take damage. However, traps are randomly distributed through the level. There are 3 patterns in any given level. The game chooses randomly. So the first order of business in a level is deciding which random pattern we have received. It isn't light bulb, so that's something. Which means it is smelly door. But is there another one? There is another one. Okay. If there's another one, then we go. That's what we do. B door is left light bulb. Okay. And we can bank right through this, all of this, because I know I'm on the right pattern, and tag this window at the end. Okay, so I've recognized that the pattern is pattern B. It took me a moment there. Again, this is what being out of practice does to you. You need quick recognition to go as fast as possible. I'm also glancing over at my notes while I'm doing this. Jesus Christ. Messy, messy, messy. But it's fine. We got through without taking damage. That's a good first step. So we'll pick up the home run bat here. This is our weapon for the stage. It belonged to a boy who liked playing baseball, who was tragically killed in a fire when his father's hotel was set on fire by youngsters playing pranks. Every level has a unique horror story premise behind it. And in this part of the level, we can simply bank left to avoid all fights in the hallways. Fights are indicated by the sixth sense at the top of the screen. Activating those are like your tells for the different traps. For instance, sight indicates this bloodstain. Sixth sense indicates either a fight or an item. It can be both. That jump was to get past a fight. I nailed it. That's harder than it looks for what it's worth. Very good. It's the top of the door frame. Then we're going to grab this baseball. What is it? It's a certificate of some description. Squeeze through this to get past a trap without getting hit. I don't think you're probably not supposed to be able to do that, but you can, so that's cool. That's a thing. Tag this trap. This one is guaranteed.
Cool.
Proceeding smoothly. Stay a bit on the outer side here to avoid a fight that pops out of the bathroom. We haven't actually seen combat yet. We will eventually. It isn't always avoidable this way. Some traps cause a cutscene even when successfully tagged, but you don't receive any damage. Speaking of damage, damage comes in multiple flavors in this run, actually. We have the green bar at the bottom, that's our health. The heart is our heart rate. If that gets too high, you die. And the blue gauge is your adrenaline. That's the currency you use to tag traps in the first place. It has a limit, so you can't just tag everything in the room. Here's a wall clip. That skips a fight. There's a fight in front of them stairs, normally. Give me the gauze. Give me it. There we go. Thank you. Yeah, I can just go. Can I go on this? We can go on this. Okay, there's nothing there. I want to make... sometimes there's a trap past that door on other patterns, and I briefly second-guess myself. If you get that wrong, you take a lot of damage, so not pleasant. Skipping a bunch of fights here by taking particular lines, and yes, we can hug the left side of the wall here. We will now see... combat ? Because that's an encounter in the light bulb. Don't ask, it doesn't make any sense. We don't really fight a lot of enemies in this game. You want to escape them. You do this by standing over this H, the helipad icon, and mashing B to make a ladder. A narrow escape. We escaped narrowly. It was a narrow escape for sure. I've made it past the first half of the level without taking any damage. That's good. I still got it. I must affix the key items we picked up earlier. The testimonial and the trophy. That wall clip I did earlier was discovered by a YouTube comment someone left on one of my very old speedrun VODs, so that's funny. We had a home run, and we are now attacked by a monster with a giant flamethrower. We bait him over to the top of the room, run past him. He is currently invincible. He cannot be killed. We must escape the fight. We have a truly invincible dodge. Ow, I'm on fire. That's fine. We have a truly invincible dodge, like fully invincible the whole way through, to get us out of situations like that. But dodging raises your heart rate, and if your heart rate gets too high, you die. So you can't spam it constantly. I mean, you can spam it a lot, but not literally constantly. But it is very, very invincible. It is heinously invincible, the dodge. Okay, so now we're doing a chase segment. I have to get away from Bambalo, proceed through the maze. We manipulate his spawns via a mixture of arm movement and camera positioning. But there is some randomness to this. If he touches us, he initiates a fight. I'm going to pause slightly there. Okay. If he touches us, we sort of enter like the battle dimension. And we would rather not have that happen. There's Kevin on the ground. We would like to rescue our friend Kevin. We must pursue Kevin. Around the corner. Yep. All good, all good. So because I got hit once, a red bar over the green bar has appeared. That is bleeding. As you get hit, you start bleeding out. When it reaches a certain point indicated by that little blue arrow across the line, you start to slowly lose health. And if your bleeding bar maxes out, you die. But also if the bleeding bar gets too full, or gets to a certain point, you start to slowly increase your bleeding gauge from merely running. Sorry, I had to pause and use the map there because that freezes Bambelow in place. He was in a weird position. I didn't know what to do with that. That is okay. So bleeding, the bar doesn't have to be very large for bleeding to start occurring from just running, and that obviously slows the run down tremendously. Anyway, here's a boss fight. Stick to the right shoulder, and
All right, we should be back. We had minor technical difficulties, but it should be no problem, ideally. So Punchy, honestly, if you're ready to count down, we can get back to business.
oh, okay. Yeah. 3, 2, 1. Back at it. I killed a boss. I'm not sure when the stream dropped exactly. I fought a boss. I beat it to death with a baseball bat. Kevin's still alive. Actually, is Kevin still alive?
Kevin!
Are you okay? Is Kevin alive? This is time sensitive, and okay, he's fine. Kevin's still alive. Okay. That could have been a really funny route divergence, because whether or not Kevin lives or dies is time sensitive. I was like, is Kevin still alive? We took a moment there. Anyway, Kevin's fine. We have gained an ally. Kevin is alive. And now we are being chased by large Bambelow. We cannot fight large Bambelow. He is too big. This is a platforming segment, fundamentally, which is not a type of game Illbleed excels at being. But nevertheless, platform we shall. Use your heinously invincible dodge to not take damage when he swings his large arms at you, and try your very best not to fall off this into the water. Falling in the water doesn't damage you or anything, it's just slow, ordinary slow. Avoid the slow. Okay, made it without getting slapped. That's all I care about. We plead for a park employee with help with the giant robot, but he's having too much fun controlling the murder machine. So we murder him instead. Eriko shows no mercy. But it's okay, it turns out he was a robot too. So it was completely fine that Eriko, murdered another human being in cold blood. You know, so she thought. She didn't actually, but she definitely meant to. Anyway, we've claimed the employee ID, so we can open the exit and just leave the level. One of the narrative conceits of Illbleed is that it's never totally clear what's actually real in the game. It's all an amusement park, it's all an attraction. But then Eriko goes backstage and, attempts to kill an employee with a baseball bat. But then it turns out he's a robot and it's fine. But she uses the park ID to escape the level. But is that the puzzle? Is it all planned? What's going on? You will not receive answers playing Illbleed. It's vibes based. You just go with it. And yeah, for a robot, he bled an awful lot. That's them park engineers. They got crazy special effects these days. Use the ID card, it opens the exit. And we can receive our payout. In definitely US dollars and not yen. It is normal to receive several $100,000. My prize is $44,000. A normal amount of money to receive. Once again, taking a trip to the item store to purchase recovery. Recovery items disappear between levels, so you have to repurchase new ones. It is very normal for a roll of gauze to cost $750. So we will proceed to level 2. So in level 2, attack of the... What is it in English? I'm playing the Japanese version. I'm not helping myself here.
Which one?
Attack of the Queen Worm, I think, or something like that. I've forgotten what it is in English. Wow. Because I'm running the Japanese version just because it's cheaper.
Let me see if I have.
This game's rare and expensive.
I might have.
Anyway, we pick up the horror monitor and it's immediately stolen away from us. Also, we're using Kevin for this part of the run. We are employing Kevin strats. In the early days of this speedrun, we never used to employ different characters because Eriko, statistically is clearly better, but there is a quirk to Kevin over here, which is that he is a guy, and the guy characters and the girl characters in this game share a set of animations between the two types. They were mocapped. This results in quirks in the speed of their actions. For instance, male characters recover from jumps faster. And that is important for this level because our horror monitor, the mechanic the game spends the entire first level teaching you how to use, doesn't matter at all in level 2. The horror monitor is gone. We are no longer scanning for traps. Forget about it. We are instead being pursued by giant worms, which I'm currently keeping off camera for my benefit. In this level, you simply need to avoid contact with enemies and entering, the battle dimension. There's an enemy there. There's a worm. It's burrowing underground. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Check out Kevin's stanky leg over there, because the mocap data is clearly intended for a character significantly taller than him. It looks all right on Randy, one of the other characters in this game who's got a taller frame to work with. Where are you going? That way. I'm going this way then. Okay, goodbye. That was a bit close, actually. The hitbox for the worms is larger than appearances suggest, so that was a mite scary. Okay, got that one as well. Those were both kind of weird. Again, it's a little random, the chase segments. But I am proceeding smoothly. In this level, we are investigating a drive-in movie theater where a series of grisly deaths have taken place due to oversized worms. eating the people who come through, which is bad. So we're going to do something about it. This last dodge is always the trickiest. Where are you at? You're over there. Why are you over there? That's fine. We can loop around. Yeah, excellent. Okay. Got through without touching an enemy unnecessarily. That's very good. Those are some early pain points for the run. If you make a mistake, it's kind of difficult to recover at that stage. Theater Inn. So in the drive-in theater itself, if we touch the unpaved ground, the soil, we will start a fight with the biggest worm of them all, who we cannot currently kill. So we must seek a way to deal with them. First, we collect a baby bottle. We're going to present it to a ghost that's haunting the convenience store. The context wouldn't help, it's just a thing that happens. Either way, it lets us in the store and we can find a key. And we use the key to get into the back. And our goal eventually will be to knock down these billboards to create a path across the drive-thru. Or drive-in, rather. I don't know what a drive-in movie theater is. I'm British. We don't do that over here. It's not a thing.
In fairness, they're mostly not really a thing in America anymore either.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's like...
You'll find
not really
some,
a thing in
but
America
usually
anymore,
they're,
is it?
Very specifically retro. Long story short, people would get cars, then park their cars in like parking lot with a giant screen, and then watch it from there.
I've seen them in the movies, but never in real life. Anyway, here's a flamethrower. It's just buried there. Items in this game are not visible. You have to sense them out using your sixth sense, but it also detects enemies with the same thing, so it's a gamble. If you start detecting a response from the sixth sense, you're like, is it an item? Is it an enemy? You don't have a way of knowing. I know, because I've memorized the video game, but you wouldn't. That's just a thing you gotta know. Anyway, we're knocking down the billboards with the spanner. This level consists of mostly platforming. Well, running and platforming is the reason Kevin is picked over Eriko here, because like I said at the start of the level, Kevin recovers from jumping faster. All the male characters do, but this is the first dude you have access to. So he can cross these platforms a mite quicker than Eriko can. It's not a large amount of time save, but it is time save. That jump was kind of sketchy, but I steered it somehow. Fine by me. And over here is fuel we can use to fuel the flamethrower if I stood in the right place. This hitbox is really finicky. Okay, good, we got it. This starts the boss fight against the giant worm Rachel. We try and get a counter hit on Rachel like that. They rise up and try to attack you. We get a counter hit that causes them to reel back, and if we're lucky, we can just loop this ad infinitum. It's a little random. That was not a counter hit, but Rachel didn't move, so... there we go. This is the start of the problems when Rachel begins moving. Oh, no, got a counter hit out of it. Could be fine, could be fine. No, moving. They're doing that... they're gone. They've gone some kind of place. Oh. Spooky. Okay, there we go. They're back to trying to actually attack us. We get a counter hit. They run in place. I sort of circle in front of them to bait another attack. Get a counter hit. Rinse and repeat for as long as you are allowed to do. That'll do. With the health depleted, I have won the fight. And Rachel's soul departs from this plane to be with the man who raised her. Every level in this game has like a crazy story that's like but I rattle through it so fast it's kind of difficult to explain it. The worm was raised by a man who treated the worm like it was his own baby. Ta-da! Here's a ghostly real photo of, like, just a guy.
Here to be okay.
He looks like that one dude from, like, the meme.
At last, we can be together forever.
The man with the awkwardly pained expression.
The
I think
Herald
it might actually be the same photo.
Thank you. I'll
Yeah.
never forget your kindness.
Does it not? I honestly think it might be.
Personally, that is just a stock photo, so it could be.
Yeah, no, I totally think it might just be the same kind of stock photo. Anyway, the ultimate goal of that was that I got gas. I can drive a car now. We drive the car through the exit, and we win the level. Ooh, I got a perfect score. I get 80,000 bucks. Nice. Okay, once again, need more items for this level because it is tougher. In the next level, there is a lot of unavoidable combat, and combat in this game is very transactional. I hit them, they hit me, so healing items are a necessity. Getting through combat without taking damage is a matter of luck a lot of the time, and taking even a small amount of damage can really derail your run for a reason that we will get to shortly. So we enter the third level, Wood Puppets. We're going to switch back to Eriko, because while I expressed in the last level that the men in this game jump better, women do melee combat better. They swing their weapons faster, like significantly faster. And there is a lot of weapon swinging in this one. Alright, once again, this is a level that revolves around detecting traps, so all that stuff from the first level, recall it once again. It's back. So first I have to do what random pattern I'm on. That is front saw blade, which means that is pattern A? No, that's B. That's B. It's B. It's B. Skip that one. I want this dude's axe, but first he's going to sing us a song.
Oh, going to cut the tree, and I got to cut the tree, 'cause I love to cut the tree. Yo ho ho, and I'm out of control, I'm gonna cut the tree.
Axe, please. Thank you. I have stolen his axe. Pattern B is a good pattern because it means I can ignore absolutely everything in this hallway. There is nothing here. The traps begin at this window.
Cool. Cool.
Be careful around this corner because it's the holes and the ceiling. Yes, this level revolves around a cursed lumber mill. There is a tree that eats people. Okay, I was confused by that one. Why was it not triggering? That is fine. And then left window. That should be fine, I think. Okay.
Cool.
No, actually, the bloodstain. Yeah, there we go. Okay, that's the complete list. For now.
Cool.
All of these positions are randomized, and you gotta quickly ascertain which one you're doing. For the speedrun purposes. Our friend Randy is running around down there without his brain, getting electrocuted. Whoa! Give us the close-up. Yep, there he is. I forgot about the flashing light, sorry. That was briefly not stellar.
Cool.
Yeah, that's Randy. Randy is getting abandoned without his brain. He is too slow to save, and will not aid us in our plans for speed. We only need one dude on this team, and Kevin is very difficult to kill on purpose. Or kill by accident, rather. I mean, he's still very difficult to kill on purpose. So we can hug the right wall here. This only works as a dodge because we're not bleeding. I said earlier that small amounts of damage can derail the run quite quickly. Your hitbox for trap detection gets bigger when you're bleeding. Anyway, time to fight a normal enemy rather than like a boss. combat against normal enemies in this game is kind of weird. You don't see a health bar, but in order to successfully kill an enemy, you need to get a counter hit. You need to deplete their health to 0 and then get a counter hit on top of that. Like when they step back like that, that's a counter hit. Ow. When they are okay, yeah, dead. They only die after a counter hit after their health is reduced to 0. You see, because I'm bleeding a little bit, I'm gonna heal that back up. Because when you are bleeding, your hitbox gets bigger, and that makes certain trap dodges not work. I'm dubious on the exact range where it actually starts becoming a problem, so I typically just heal damage in general. But very small amounts don't seem to meaningfully do anything. But the amount it takes before it starts becoming a problem is smaller than you'd expect. Tag both of these. Back one's a trap. Very cool. Go around the corner. Excellent. There is a fight there that is unavoidable on other trap patterns, so it's nice I got the good RNG for this level. There is a preferred pattern on like a per level basis. That puzzle is a number pun. There's like a note you can pick up. I've already solved it though, we're moving on. Not you. One of the light fixtures is a problem. You. That's the one on pattern B.
Cool.
Empty air.
Cool.
A normal place for a trap to be.
Cool.
And the final trap here is that one. No, it's not the final trap though.
Cool.
Once again, there's 3 distinct trap pattern layouts per level, and keeping it all in your brain at once and executing, because there's like different dodges depending on certain patterns. Like sometimes you can get away with not tagging them and just running by. You gotta remember, basically you need to memorize 3 different routes in order to run this game, and it can be a lot sometimes. If I take my time to think, that's why. Doing this run like very, very well, where you can just like go and do like respond to any pattern without thinking, takes a lot of preparation. It can be very daunting. But okay. I kind of gloss over the fact we jumped into a machine that turned us into a puppet. By the way, that's the current affairs of the level is that the visitors of the park are being turned into wood puppets and being admitted to the Woodman versus Hunter game. So we are now being pursued by angry lumberjacks. In this state, we cannot jump. And we would prefer... a bit close. We would prefer not to be attacked by lumberjacks. I'm abusing the map thing. This came up slightly earlier, but it's far more important here. Opening the map will freeze enemies in place briefly. Listening for audio. Don't love that. I can hear their footsteps behind me, so I have to concentrate. So far, so good. They're getting hung up on the geometry. I hear it to my right. Pausing can keep them off you indefinitely, but you don't want to pause if you don't have to. That was actually quite good. Excellent. We made it to the cutscene trigger. That despawns them behind us. You gotta listen for the audio for that to tell how close they are to tagging you in the butt and forcing a fight, which you'd rather not do. We pick up the wood-eating parasite, or wood-eating bug rather, with our distinctly made of wood body. Don't know why that's apparently okay. We're gonna use the wood-eating bug to destroy a tree blocking our way. The wood-eating bug does not eat us, the creature made of wood, at this juncture. Reason unknown. Maybe someone who knows the deep lore, has like purchased the strategy guide, would know. I mean, I've read the strategy guide and I didn't see anything about this in there. One of the great contradictions of our time. We are now above it all. The lumberjacks cannot get us up here, except when they can. There will be more dodges of a trickier nature coming up. This is like the halfway point. Those dummy photo boxes over there, that's our save point. Which I am rather pointedly not doing. I have backup saves, don't worry. Just in case. I mean, if all goes well, we shouldn't need to use them. But, you know, always come prepared. And we have this dodge. This guy needs to sort of hang left. So I can do the pause trick again to freeze them in place, briefly. I get to act before they do. So I can walk around them. And typically what happens, and I think it happened there, is that as the lumberjack tries to, like, do a 180 to catch you, they end up falling off the ledge. I hear footstep. No like, pause. Be safe. Cool. So right now we're simply trying to make it to the goal without being chopped into pieces. A noble goal, I'm sure. Hang left here again. That is perhaps the widest gap I could possibly have been given. Sweet. See ya. Okay, but he's... Ooh. Bit close. Bit close, not ideal. Lumberjack jump scare. And we've made it to the goal. We have made it to the locker room. We are safe. Nothing can harm us now. Except for this trap that can definitely harm us. And this guy hiding in the goal like a cheater. He's cheating. So we must assert dominance and T-pose to victory. This is how you attack as a wood puppet. The same rules apply, though. We need a counter hit to kill. That was a really good fight. That guy had nothing. His neutral was poor. He couldn't find an opening. No damage. Very good. Love that. There's a second fight before we can leave, though. So I get to try my luck once again. I say it's luck, and, like, it is to a great extent. Like, he just didn't get counter hit there. Oops. Sucks to be me. But there is, like, a position to it. Knowing where to stand, where to be, you know, how to react to certain situations. Right now, I'm not getting a counter hit. I gotta go in straight. Yep, that's a counter hit. That'll kill. Like that. Knowing the scenario. There is definitely luck to it. Like, enemy behavior is just not consistent in combat. But I'm hesitant to define it as entirely luck. There is an ability to know what you're doing. Anyway, we've turned back into a normal person now. I don't really need to heal. I just opened the menu by accident and committed. We need to turn back into a human exclusively just to make that small jump so we can go fight the boss. We're going to go fight the evil tree that eats people. I'm going to do this by jamming ourselves in the corner. Swing twice. Dodge. Disgustingly active dodge. When we get that swing attack, we can execute a 3-hit combo for the maximum damage possible, so getting that is good RNG. But he can also do a vomit attack, and that leaves us with only enough time to do a 2-hit attack, which he's currently not. This is good RNG, but it works against my commentary. Still not doing it. Hey, there it is, on the last one where it actually does not matter, because I'm already in killshot range. That was absolutely perfect. Very cool. Genuinely honestly, that stage, perfect luck. Nothing to complain about. here's a little walk to the exit. This is here, I think, exclusively just to kill you if you're bleeding out a bit by the end, which is really rude. But that's Illbleed. And we have completed wood puppets. We've escaped the lumber mill. And I get money for it. $116,000. Why doesn't Nick Dices pay me $116,000 for doing these hotfixes?
I don't have $116,000.
Why not? I fail to see how that's my
I
problem.
didn't win the amusement park in Illbleed.
Rookie mistake. Rookie error. Okay. Next level. The next level is Killer Department Store. This one concerns a crazy CEO of a department store that holds a big sale, but then the store starts killing the people. It's all very cheesy and B-horror movie-esque. This level differs in that the money is paid up front, and the traps take away money when you get hit. How high does heart rate need to be to perish? 255. And this is recognizable immediately. If the trap is on the trolley at the very start, sorry, the shopping cart, it's pattern B. That one has a really obvious tell right at the start, so that's very convenient. So I can tell that it's this one, it's this one, and it's the blue candy. And it's the arm, which I'm going to be brave and only tag once. Nice. Jelly in the middle, purple on the ceiling. That's not pink, that's orange. Am I colorblind? There we go. I'm doing it. Purple on the floor. And the orange face on the wall to the right. Let's try that again. There we go. Tagged it this time. Cool. Now, only one of these cans is a scare, but tagging the one in the back without tagging the one in the front is impractically difficult without, like, getting too near it, so I just tag both. It's more expedient that way. Does pattern B have hair scare in it? It does not. Sometimes there's a trap right in front of the weapon, a hatchet we need to collect. And here we meet Hell Cake. He wants a topping to complete his cakeliness. He accepts the severed head as that offering. We could ignore him, but because it's Igdice's birthday, we're going to take Hell Cake with us. Happy birthday. You can take a bite out of Hell Cake and gain all your health back.
You know, I don't know if the game says, do we know what kind of cake Hell Cake is? I just know he has like a head on him.
Blood. Yes.
What's the frosting made out of?
Blood.
But it's white.
Blood. That's probably really loud, I'm sorry.
I definitely know it's not strawberry at all, because doesn't he refuse the strawberry?
Yeah, there's a strawberry you can find in the level, and if you try and give it to him, he will kick it back at you and be like, no. Anyway, I picked up 5 pieces of chicken to give to these cockroaches. These guys go away in a random amount of meat given. There's no predicting this. 2 is good. That's actually really good RNG, all in all. Like, you need to have at least 1 piece of meat in your inventory by the time you get to here, otherwise you can't initiate this fight and continue the game. So I pick up 5 because if you have too many pieces of meat in your inventory, this fight becomes really difficult. So you want to like thread the needle and pick the number where you end up with very few pieces overall. That was really good. I picked up 5 and used 3, so I had 2 left over, which makes the fight easy. That's the good luck. But if you can't get the cockroaches to go away, even if you give them a lot of meat, you have to just take the hit and move on. Because if you decline to give them meat, they'll hit you.
Cool.
Taking the hit is faster than running out of meat and then doubling back to collect more.
Cool.
I'm jumping up on the sides here because it evades enemy encounters. There's like worm encounters dotted about the place.
Cool.
Sticking to the outer edges keeps you safe for longer. And now for probably the hardest fight in the run. It's a bit weird that it's in the middle, and it's not a boss fight, but it is what it is. The hardest fight in this game is a fight against 3 normal worm enemies. The same combat rules are in effect as they were before. You need to get a counter hit in order to kill after reducing their health pool to 0. These guys fight much like the big worm does, but they're smaller. And they don't follow boss rules, which means you need a counter hit to kill them. Bosses die when their health is 0. Regular enemies don't, which is really weird. Like, that's a counter hit. But see, that was the problem. That illustrates the problem perfectly. You go for a hit on one of them, and their body, like, covers. Yeah, like that. It's real annoying. So this relies heavily on luck. That's not a counter hit, but doing some damage is nice. That didn't hit, like, at all. That's kind of sad. That's not a counter hit, but that's damage. Get some damage on the board. The hitboxes are also horrendous. They can hit you from miles off. Got him. Caught him in 4K. Give me that counter hit. He's dead. He's out of there. Sidestep that. No counter hit, though. Very sad. Give me the counter hit. That's counter hit. Give me counter hit. I'm committing. I don't care that I got hit. I killed him. It was worth it. Good trade. Counter hit. Yes! No, he didn't die. He ain't dead. He got that much health, brother. I need the counter hit. Nice. That was probably the furthest distance I could have got that from without getting hit myself, so that was quite nice. So you may notice I am half dead after doing that fight, and honestly, I don't think that went terribly. That can go a lot worse. That fight is a mess. It swings runs dramatically. But I will take it. We heal off the damage because, like I said, if you're bleeding that much, A, you're dying, and B, the traps are going to start hitting you from like halfway across the room, so you got to deal with that like sharp. But now with our blood put back into our body, our hitbox becomes small once again. So now I can proceed through Kids World. You need to spend a certain amount of money to even access Kids World. There's like a little side quest you can do to gain some money if you lost it from getting hit or spending all your money in a different level of the game. But because I have saved up money from previous levels, I can just go. And also I haven't been hit, so I have all of the money you get paid at the start of the level. That also works in my favor. Pain. Trap here is the Dreamcast. The Dreamcast itself will try to kill you, so watch out for that. It's not that one. It's the last one. Once again, pattern distribution where all the traps are is randomized between 3 different types, so you just have to memorize all of them, basically. Now, we enter Mary's maze, a scary doll that will try to kill us. Now that I think about it, the killer doll named Mary is a Japanese urban legend. I don't know why that didn't occur to me before, but the penny has just dropped on that one. That's like a Japanese urban legend thing. It's like a ghost that targets people who throw away their dolls.
Is that an actual ghost?
Yeah, it's not a real ghost, but like it's a well-established urban legend. She calls you on the phone and is like, I'm coming to a house. And she gets you. So we are searching for 4 keys hidden about the maze, and the entire time we're here, our health is slowly draining. So get it done fast. While Mary is, holding a giant knife and also pursuing us around the place, although she has certain zones where she can't go, I will now demonstrate this because I want to get back from where I came and have a bump into Mary, but she just will not go past this, line on the ground. She won't do it. I would like her. Thank you. I needed her to shuffle over a bit. That wasn't enough space to work with. Same with this. She will not pursue us straight into the corner, so I can abuse that to get a clean line to escape. And that's the 4th key. Much like the other chase segments, you can reliably predict her positions based on your own movements and camera work. But there is light randomness to it, so that was nice. Nice I didn't get owned. It does, however, make you put the pieces in one by one. Here I'd like to highlight a very minor thing. If you hold down right trigger when opening the menu, it comes in fast. Like the animation of the page being peeled across the screen is faster if you hold down right trigger. This is true every single time I open the menu. But okay. For the next challenge, we have to beat Mary in a game of hide and seek. Her hiding location is determined the same way the trap pattern is, so if you've identified what pattern you're on, you always know the answer. For instance, she's in the fridge. And now, I will run the mix-up. Run behind her. Hope I get a knockdown on the 3rd hit here. Ooh, that's not good. So if you get the knockdown on the 3rd hit like I meant to, I can run Eriko's fantastic mix-up game. But wow, she no-sold it twice. That's really lame. 3 times. Ouch. That 3rd hit's supposed to knock down, but the game was like, no, each time. Normally you knock her down, run behind her, and then continue to loop knockdowns over and over again until you win. But as you saw there, that's what I mean when I say enemies don't react consistently in combat. That 3rd hit is supposed to knock down, but sometimes the game can just be like, no, don't feel like it. But either way, we win. We advance to Mary's final challenge. A deadly game of jump rope. I'm going to fail this once on purpose, just because I want to show you guys the comical amount of blood that happens. Ouch. It also did, no damage. Don't worry about it. You can try again immediately. You simply have to jump over the rope 10 times. The timing on the jump, though, is extremely delayed. Press. Then the jump comes out. It's like a full second. On number 8, I just mashed the button, because that is the only way I've found reliable enough to get the jump out in time. Anyway, we get to 10, we win. We move on with our lives. We advance up to Cashman's office. The maniacal CEO behind the killer department store sales. And it turns out he's actually a giant spider made of money. He's invincible right now, we can't kill him. So we gotta, once again, get a little meta and head backstage. To the control room. We're going to steal this employee's control box. And doing that lets us control the boss. Yes, you can ram the boss into yourself at this point. You will die. I will not demonstrate it for you. Give this game a try, and do that on your own time. I would like to continue my speedrun. We bash Cashman's face into the wall. This sets him on fire, at which point the park staff evacuate us because of the risk to Eriko's life. This is apparently where they start caring about that. They didn't care before that Eriko was in danger, but, you know, we started a fire, so oh no, activate the emergency escape protocols. We proceed onwards to level 5. This game comprises of 6 levels and then a final boss. So we are firmly in, like, the back order now. Third. Math is hard. Killer Man. And this level sees the return of Kevin. Welcome back, Kevin. Kevin strats ride once again. This is for a different reason than last time, although the jumping thing does have a very minor impact. We will get to that when we get there. So, Killer Man, we start in a movie theater and we immediately go backstage. Because nothing's happening. Something's wrong. And there's been a murder. One of the park staff has been killed in the security room, and we're like, that's not good. We should report this to the staff. You know, because they'd care. So really, we're going backstage behind Illbleed here. Like the whole thing takes place backstage this time. But who is Killer Man? This is the truth that we all wish to know. This level is essentially a murder mystery. However, it runs on Illbleed logic, which you must acclimate to if you wish to have any chance of success. That man is investigating the missing costume, and by investigating, he's staring at the box and pouting. We ran into a couple of other key figures in the mystery. We ran into Jorg, Sir not appearing in this run. Jorg is a playable character modeled after and voiced by one of the people who worked on the English PR for this game. He's on Twitter. He made a game recently. Like, it has nothing to do with Illbleed, but he made a game recently. I don't know, I thought that was interesting. So, step 1. What pattern amount? That is first pool. That's all right. That's pattern B, which means bloodstain, doors on the left, and one of this is the empty space created in the air, which is really annoying. Yeah, there it is. Empty. It's the ceiling fan, like straight up, which, yeah, very, very normal position for that to be in. Very noticeable. The environment. That one's dumb. I hate that one. Bank right here to avoid a fight with some eggs. It will make more sense later. And which one's the UFO? B, so I can bank left. And not get hit. Okay. Tag this. This starts a fight. Tagging a fight means you enter the fight while not initially detected, meaning I can immediately run away without taking any aggro from Mary, who also just shows up again in this level, by the way. Hi, welcome back. And now if I execute the line right, I should be able to get through the next room without triggering anything. You gotta do it right. Okay, I think I'm good. Okay, nice. That probably didn't look like much. It's quite particular. Hug the wall, but like hug it in the right way. Anyway, here's a shotgun. That is a surprising tool, but will help us later. Amid that, we've investigated the warehouse. It was full of stuff from previous levels and future levels. Illbleed contained spoilers for Illbleed. The very probable reason for this is the level order was likely changed in development, but it could just as well be on purpose. Illbleed is the kind of game where you can't really tell. But there is evidence to suggest that this level and the next level were previously the other way around. Boring stuff like data structures and file names and what have you. Anyway, we're backtracking to the monitor room to find Jorg. Hi, Jorg. He's investigating the corpse. He's doing a detective thing. We'll leave him to it for now. Get back to there was another door in the employee back rooms we couldn't open before, but now we can. As we come back here and find another person has been killed by Killer Man. Killer Man leaves killer stars on his victims' faces. But Killer Man isn't real. He's just a character made up by a theme park. For money. Terrible.
All right.
And hangar left here because the trap is on the right side of the exit of the tunnel. Don't mind the cutscene. Nothing of value is imparted from that one. I mean, a dude like screams and then body parts fall down a chute. In the Killer Man level, the levels get much bigger, and the amount that your horror monitor responds to becomes fewer, which means you have to kind of weirdly play slower in a way. Because as you can see, as the bar tracks across your senses, that's when it responds. It's possible to cross distances without actually seeing the monitor move at all. So you are punished for going fast in this game if you don't have everything memorized already. I want you to slow down, take in the environment, you know, that kind of thing. Why are you going so fast, gamer?
All right.
All right. Characters do not differ in terms of their running speed or walking speed. But they do have different properties in like various animations that make them more or less ideal for certain levels. We use Eriko for about half of the game's levels and then Kevin for the other half for different reasons. The primary reason for Eriko's usage is that female characters in this game swing their weapons faster, whereas men jump faster. But there's also one other quirk to the male characters that helps. And you will get to it when combat takes place.
All right.
See, right now we only have a gun, as opposed to a melee weapon. Men are worse with melee weapons in this game, but when it comes to firearms, well, they fire the guns at the same speed. It's their dodging animations. Men have more iframes on they dodge. This is almost certainly just an error of mocap and not like a balancing choice. Like, you know, they base the game balance on like the length of the animations they mocapped. You know, they're similar enough, but in like the context of a speedrun, that ends up making a very large difference. Because it doesn't vary by character, it varies by their gender. There's like a set of male animations and a set of female animations. Anyway, we are going to solve the mystery of Killerman. Who is responsible for the murders? Is it Killerman? Is it York? Is it the player? This says, abnormality led you to buy this game. I think that's true. こんなゲームを買おう。異常な神経。はい、私です。
You know, they missed the Twitch chat option.
If this game was made now, they would have included it. They're the type, I think. They would have known.
I think they would have. And I'd actually love to see Illbleed in the modern day. Just imagine what they could do. I know we won't, but
yeah,
it would be neat.
So I'm counting squares on the ground here so I can get the first trap. Okay. Yeah, Illbleed is a very one-of-a-kind game. There's no other games in, like, a series of Illbleed games. The development studio that produced it, I think, went belly up shortly after its release. There were plans to port it to the Xbox at some point, but those plans were stymied when the game's creative director sadly passed away. Which is very sad, although it has left the legal status of this game in limbo. It's one of those kind of situations where no one's really sure who owns it.
Wouldn't that also make the, like, what? Blue Stinger, D2, and there's another game I'm blanking on also.
D2 is a different company.
I know Blue Stinger would be in the same limbo.
Blue Stinger is made by them, yeah. Zombies! Run away.
I guess it was like Nintendo, it would probably just be Sega, right?
What was that?
Sega did publish it, so that's likely.
Because I know Eternal Darkness has a
York is kidnapped by zombies.
similar thing.
And York has now exited the game. Goodbye, York. Yeah, since Sega published the game, it's very likely that they own the rights, but they don't seem to know either.
Also, weirdly enough, did you know that Blue Stinger was like a launch title?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
It was
I
early.
thought it was like maybe a year or two after, but no, that came out on release.
You bought a Dreamcast to play Blue Stinger. It does seem like the company that made this game had like a good working relationship with Sega, though. Like, they made an arcade game, also published by Sega, called Maze of the Kings.
Well, if it's any indication, I mean, I feel like there's a weird Sega resurgence right now. You have the, Crazy Taxis coming back?
True. There's been a push from Sega lately to, like, sort of revive their IPs and figure out what it is they even own.
I hope Illbleed's
So,
in
yeah,
there.
maybe someone will, like, dig up the files. It's like, oh, yeah, we own Illbleed. Because it would be nice to get a modern reissue of this game, because this game is crazy expensive on the aftermarket these days.
Yeah, also...
Like, I'm playing the Japanese version right now, not because it's, like, faster in any meaningful way. It's because it's cheaper. It goes for, like, maybe $50 to $80, as opposed to, like, the couple hundred that the English copy can run you.
Also, Dreamcast discs specifically are kind of fragile. Like, much more than any other console thing I've had. So you buy a very expensive paperweight at a point, or a coaster at some point. You know, I think I actually have a broken copy of Illbleed I could use as a coaster.
Ouch. I do in fact have 2 copies of this game because I started getting like disc read errors and I thought that, oh god, it's going bad, I need a second copy, but it turned out to be the console, which was worse. That was more expensive to deal with.
Yeah. Is certainly a game. Although I guess funny enough, so we looked it up earlier. This is the 4th time we've had this on. I was wondering, because like, how many birthday episodes we had? This is 4. This is the 4th one. It has been 4.
I'm pretty sure I've done Illbleed for the Hotfix as well, outside the context of your birthday. I think it's actually been on more than that.
I would probably believe that, yeah.
You really like.
I mean, I think it's a neat game. It's been pushed a lot, and I think it's a really, it's a neat run.
I wasn't gonna bring it up. I was definitely thinking it, but you brought it up first.
No, it's a really neat game. I like having it on like once per year. Although I definitely think that the what's the word? At this point, it's more celebratory, but like just kind of going over the
tradition.
Yes. Going over some of the things that happened with Illbleed. Well, originally we had the more bare bones route. Then we found the Kevin strats. You found the
Kevin, my boy. Speaking of Kevin strats.
Oh yeah, I'll let you do the boss first.
Kevin's main advantage in this level is that, as I said earlier, his dodge is a little better than Eriko's. If you try and do this point-blank dodge with Eriko, it will not work. You will get knocked out of it every time. But Kevin can repeatedly sidestep in Killer Man's face, blast him with the shotgun, and be like recover in time to sidestep again and invincible through it completely. So you can adopt a much faster strat this way if he stops teleporting and actually plays the game. Hello! There we go. Back on track. Still randomness, but yeah, this is why Kevin is picked for this level. Similarly, we're also going to pick Kevin for the next level, not because it really matters in that level, but because it selects the character for the final boss. And Kevin, good with gun, so shoot the gun, win the game. All right, continue.
Yeah, but it has been neat to see both how the speedrun of the game has really developed over the years, being on the Crypt.
Yeah. This is a game where the route has, in fact, seen significant improvement over, like, the past few years. It's been refined a lot. In the past, this used to be, like, a 2.5-hour run.
Yeah. And then, funny enough, I think, like, since we've had, let's see, things that have happened. You've lowered world record by quite a lot. You've had it on one of the mainline GDQ events.
Yeah. That was a lot of fun. I got to run this at like a mainline GDQ, and that was a lot of fun.
The various shenanigans of like there's the out of bounds found from the YouTube commenter. There's the like we're saying Kevin strats. More people have learned to run the game. I actually have learned to run this game at some point. Like it's a fun run.
Let's go.
A lot to keep track of though.
Yeah, I did make a tutorial for this game that like outlines all the information you need to, the various patterns of traps that you need to memorize and learn to know all the stuff. I put all the information out there to make it easier to learn the game because it was definitely better than having all of the knowledge like stuck in my brain. Oof, that was a narrow escape. That was very close. But okay, we're in the final level now, Toy Hunter. Toy Hunter works completely differently from the other levels. Because instead of our character, we are summarily replaced. It'll get there in a moment. I'm doing like a dramatic thing, but there's like a few tutorials to explain what's going on. I will be the tutorial for the chat. Don't you worry. We are replaced with Cork. This level is a Toy Story / Indiana Jones parody level. So we are swapped to a different character for the timing. We maintain the statistics of the character we selected, but our animations are, by default, Guy. So in this level, there's a story that you follow by activating cutscenes that are traps instead. These are all slow, and they're unskippable, moreover, so I have to summarize the plot instead. Cork is a toy owned by a boy. The boy gets sick and die. When he die, he is buried with his favorite toy, which it turns out to be Cork's beloved quote-unquote wife, question mark? It is a figure of a sexy lady with a huge ass called Sexy Doll. That is the character that Cork is pursuing. Sexy Doll has been buried with a dead child. That is what is occurring in the story right now. This is Illbleed. Welcome. Hi. I get to say these things on the GDQ stream because that's just what the game is like.
Yep.
So we are currently wifeless. And that's bad. That makes Cork very sad. And so we are going to proceed through a graveyard until further developments take place.
Yep.
You see, the noteworthy thing about being buried as a toy, as your child's favorite possession is that you go to toy hell. This is distinct from regular hell. Please keep this in mind. The theology is very important. Can someone disable his mic from the chat? I didn't write the game, man. I'm just saying. That's what it is. That's what it be like. Harsh. The harshness of it all. Where is it? It's on the floor. There we go. I did it. I found it.
Yep.
Now, I'm on pattern A, I think. I'm gonna level with you. I wasn't paying super close attention to what pattern I'm on. How to not get killed by monkeys and escape. Oh, that guy got stuck. Damn, that was really good. I didn't commit. Anyway, this is where we learn that our wife has gone to toy hell. So we feel bad about that. That's bad. So going through the city, working through our woes of being wifeless.
Over here.
Oh, what is this? Why are they running at me? Stop that. That was a strange thing. Avoid a fight by banking hard right around the corner.
Yep.
Fight successfully avoided. We go to Egg Bar, where Cork goes to drown his sorrows. Now, normally there's a story event here where you fight a bunch of eggs. But we're going to walk around that real quick. But we still get arrested for it, because it's part of the story. We get arrested, we get into a bar fight against some eggs, win, and we get arrested. Why? Why do we get arrested? It's not my fault they're bad at fighting. Skill issue, IMO. Anyway, we're going to jail. We're going to jail. Count the number of cells. And count wrong. Whoops.
Yep.
That angle's funny. That's not gonna like.
Yep.
Oh no, what's that one? Okay.
Yep.
I was on point. It's left. Left is an issue yet. No, tag it, please. Please tag it. I need this. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, and for our crimes against eggs, we are sentenced to death. And at first, Cork is like, oh, great, now I can go to toy hell and be with my toy wife. That's really the thing that's occurring. Like, context is... I could just not say anything, but then you wouldn't have any idea what's going on. But it turns out, dying the normal way sends you to regular hell, rather than toy hell. Again, the theology here, very important, very meaningful. Please write this down in your copybooks. There will be a test later. Now that's Pododon, currently crashed into a wall. We're going to fetch him some gasoline to get him going again. Gas.
Yep.
Give the gasoline to Potodon. What happens if you run out of adrenaline? If you run out of adrenaline, you are defenseless against traps, fundamentally. So don't be too reckless with how you spend it, because if you don't get enough back from successfully clearing traps, then you can just end up high and dry. Anyway, onwards to Cork's execution. This is where the game punishes you if you haven't been paying attention to the story, because these two are fake. They are not what the story said. However, in the cutscene, the execution is interrupted by Potodon. It turns out Potodon checked the, quote, toy Bible and discovered the revelation that if you die in a normal way, you don't go to toy hell, you just go to regular hell, which is not what he's after. We're trying to find a way to go to toy hell. And it turns out going to toy hell entails being buried with someone. Like alive. Our goal is to be buried alive right now, in short. The trap is there. You cannot trick me. I know where it is. There you go. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, so we escaped the sewers. And now our goal is to find a sickly child to be buried with. Normal things are occurring right now. This poster on the wall is supposed to be the hint for how you know which apartment to check. To Santa Claus, the toy which needs me is the doll of Toy Hunter. My house is the second floor of the apartment, without making a mistake. Jeremy. Inda. That is because this character's name in the Japanese text is often Inda rather than Cork. It was kind of changed in the English dub because, you know, copyright. But they kind of did it in a really, like, half and half way, so he's intermittently called both. But also, caution, recently ghost and so on increase in this town. As for the children, to be careful. Remember that. Anyway, this is the correct apartment. We have found a sickly child. In a cutscene I will not describe, we expedite the process. And we are successfully buried alive. Thus we have made it to Toy Hell. Where the boss awaits us. In order to reclaim our toy wife, we must defeat Sonic the Hedgehog. That's like that they, as far as I knew, they did not get permission for this. They just did it. But we are fighting Sonic. Honestly, I think this is fitting because I think you would in fact find Sonic the Hedgehog in hell. I vibe with this game's sense of theology personally. Defeating Sonic is a matter of knocking the rings out of him and then shooting the rings, but the rings scatter in like a completely random direction, so this is largely up to chance. Illbleed, probably a Twitch TOS violation. It's got a rating from the ESRB. It passed the regulations. Okay, he's out of rings. And he's gone. There is a story. So when I say they didn't get permission for this, they just did this. Like, Sega was the publisher, so they did find out. Apparently Sega wasn't incredibly happy about it. But they did let it rock. So, good sports, but the story on that one is that they just kind of did it. Like, they adopted the ask for forgiveness rather than permission logic, and it worked. But apparently Sega were not incredibly thrilled about it. Anyway, we can now proceed to the final boss. The Reynold Museum. We get a choice between 3 different final bosses, because Illbleed is like that. You get to choose how hard you would like to make the ending of the game, fundamentally. That is a substitute doll I picked up. It will revive me once if I die. Very nice to have for safety. The final boss we will choose is Bull Stinger, which is actually a boss from the studio's previous game, Blue Stinger. We were talking about that one earlier. The strategy for this one, again, we use Kevin for this. Kevin strats because his dodge coming out of a gun is faster. The strategy for this one is stay close, dodge much. You gotta react quickly. When he gets knocked back like that, it can be a bit of a crapshoot. Like, how fast is he gonna do his next attack? The speed of his attacks is unpredictable. Like that was much faster than the previous attempt you go. And sometimes he does that instant jump that is active very quickly. You need to be very on point to block that. Well, dodge it, I'm not blocking anything. Kevin's weakness, among other things, is that, as you can see as I'm dodging, his heart rate is increasing very rapidly. Again, if this hits 255, I die, but we're going to be fine. This is actually going pretty well. And the screen fades out, that will be time. Time. That's the video game.
GG.
GG. All right.
Yes. Excellent. Fantastic.
And that was Illbleed. I hope you had a good time. I'm glad that went smoothly. Cards on the table. I mean, I mentioned this earlier on, but cards on the table, I wasn't incredibly prepared to do this. because the Hotfix stream kept getting delayed so much, I kind of forgot about it and forgot to, like, do at least a little bit of practice. I mostly pulled that one out of the hat.
I mean, underestimate it. That's what's kind of important there. Huh?
I know the game pretty well, fortunately, so it wasn't that big of a deal. But I definitely felt rusty.
It's a fun revisit. It's a fun trip.
I normally prefer to knock the rust off the gears before I go on the show, but, like, I completely forgot about it.
I'm a man of my word.
It was a good run.
But anyway, we survived Illbleed. We received $100 million. That was Illbleed. I hope you guys had a good time watching a fascinating Dreamcast game. If you want to see more of it, check me out. I'm at Twitch TV/Punchy. I do runs of this sometimes. But also, shout outs to Roby. They are a runner who picked up the game recently, and if they've been pushing the time down even further, they have some new strats that I haven't even really learned yet. So there's more to this story. We've been talking about how the run has developed even further, and it's like it has remained developing even further. What you just saw wasn't even like the peak of performance. There's some newer stuff that's been developed lately that I am not completely aware of.
Well, I guess a funny add-on to that is, assuming we're both here next year, you know for a fact Illbleed's gonna come back next year as long as we're, both still around on Twitch and GDQ, I suppose.
Am I getting kicked off for describing the Toy Hunter level?
No, you're perfectly
They're getting
fine.
rid of me.
You described that for 4 years now. If you were kicked off
yeah, no, I've done it
you're
multiple times. I know, if I was going to get kicked off for describing it, I would have been kicked off.
It's the old rule. Oh, sorry, it's 5 times. 5 times is the limit.
5 times too many.
Right, before we do go, let's do the usual thing. If anyone did want to, find you, where can they watch you?
Find me at Twitch TV/Punchy. I also have a YouTube channel at PunchyYT. I upload stuff about interesting games like this over there. You might find it interesting.
All right. That being said, before we do go to a quick break for the last game of the night, I just want to say a few things. One, before doing any of the GQ plugs, I do just want to say once again, my own shout out to Punchy here. I did mention that I've actually learned Illbleed in the last year or so. It's a very easy run to learn because Punchy put a lot of resources into it. There's a very, in-depth guide that teaches you pretty much everything. So it is a very well-made run.
Thank you very much. I'm glad you got used out of it. That guide took me 3 months to make.
Straight up, I will say, I watched that guide. I literally wrote down on my own notes as well, every single path, the differences. So whenever I go back to this game, it's okay, what am I looking for? And then it's looking at the patterns, okay, I'm on here. And then it's just winging it from there.
I am I am very glad people got use out of it because it took ages to make. That guide took so much of my life.
Yeah, it's very, very, very
Months.
intense.
It took months to like collate the information to produce that guide, and I'm really glad people got use out of it. I'm less thrilled that Broby got so much use out of it that he beat my time. That's rude.
But now you have to go back. People will be able to watch you do Illbleed.
You're supposed to learn my game. You're not supposed to beat me at it. That's uncalled for. That's uncouth. The violation of the etiquette. No, I'm glad.
Yeah.
I'm glad people are like going even further. You know.
Yeah. But
Also, man, that tutorial took ages to make. It took so long.
But yeah, for a couple of plugs before we go to the last run, we do have an official GDQ Discord and a Hotfix role in there that gives you more information on upcoming events, so you can talk to staff and more. Use !Spark Discord to find that in Twitch chat. As well, if you do miss out on any of the shows or events, you can check out any of the VODs on youtube.com/gamesdonequick. Anyway, we'll be right back very quick. All right, everyone, we are back from the break. Welcome back. I hope you all been enjoying the show so far. We had Illbleed. It's always a tight game. And I do have one more game for you tonight. This one I will actually be showing you. My way of both, one, saying welcome back, and two, just kind of showing you probably one of my favorite runs of the last few years that I've done. I don't do this game a whole lot, but as a treat to you, I do hope that you all enjoy it. If you've never heard of this game, this is NIghtCry. NIghtCry is something that you can only really watch, and it is a deep cut of a game. Now, what I mean by that is this game is kind of notable for being, I think, one of the worst games of 2016. It had quite a lot wrong with its developments, and there is just a lot with this game. So if you're a fan of Awful Block stuff, yeah, that'll be a fun game right there. Anyway, before we totally begin, I do just want to say really quick, for a quick plug, that you can find more info on all the GDQ shows at gamesdonequick.com/hotfix for a lot of the weekly shows and weekend specials. Anyway, without further ado, let's do some NIghtCry. Ready? All right, 3, 2, 1, let's go. Okay, so NIghtCry, what is this? Why am I so excited for this? This game is a part of something called the Clock Tower series. If you're a fan of horror games, you may have vaguely heard of Clock Tower. Long story short, it is a franchise that mostly centers around people being chased with giant pairs of scissors. It was a Japanese exclusive one for a bit. However, it did have some sequels that hit the US, and it's always been more of an obscure horror game back in the 90s. That being said, Clock Tower has been dead since 2003. And the cool thing about it is the original director, Hifumi Kono, really believed in the Clock Tower series, so much so that he decided he wanted to bring it to life for a new audience in 2016. And this is where NIghtCry came to be. You may notice, you can see my mouse. This game is a point and click, and it had the original vision of Clock Tower made by the original director. This game was Kickstarted? How do you, I don't know what the past tense of kickstart is, but they got a lot of people to work on it. They got a lot of money put in. They had a goal of $300,000 roughly, and they got $314,000. So they barely made the goal. As well, originally this was meant to be a mobile game, but then they made it into a PC port. They also had a PS Vita port in 2019, and we never got the mobile game. So I don't know what happened to that. However, well, one, if you've seen her running, you have that. But more importantly, if you've never seen NIghtCry, if you're only vaguely hearing what I'm talking about right now, you're going, oh, so some old horror guy made this. This game is weird so far. The best way that NIghtCry can be introduced is with one of its cutscenes, which I'll be showing it to you. It does lose a little bit of time. However, I usually make the estimate a little bit longer to showcase this. I talk more about some of the weird speed tech this game has. However, I hope that you enjoyed this cutscene coming up. It truly is the best way of being introduced to NIghtCry. Also, before you ask, yes, that is DMC Dante. They rented out that model to be used, and the developers paid money to use this model specifically. Why they use Dante, I don't actually know. The game is currently frozen, by the way. It does that.
Don't get yourself worked up now.
There you go.
Come on, I'll buy you a drink.
What? You think a soda will get you on my good side?
Hey, you're thirsty, right? Here we go. What the?
What is it now?
Well, something's grabbing my hand.
What?
I said something inside here is grabbing my hand.
Oh, Harry, the Gregory Peck Act is a bit outdated, don't you think?
I'm serious.
Anyway, NIghtCry. Yeah. So he just gets sucked up by the soda machine, and then we have the Scissor Walker come out of the blood. Which I don't know any other game that introduces a character that way, but now we're on to the actual game. So we're being chased by the Scissor Walker. We have the ability to run. We're going to get rid of the Scissor Walker almost immediately. This is kind of like the tutorial of, hey, you need to run away, and you can't do things while being chased. So we're going to use a fire extinguisher because the Scissor Walker is actually weak to fire extinguishers. But yeah, that's the type of caliber that NIghtCry is. It is killing people with the power of soda machines. There's a lot of stuff like that in the game. Some of it we'll see purposefully because you can't skip the cutscenes. Some other stuff I can only describe. Like, one of the deaths that takes too long to get is there is a death where our character here will hide inside of a dryer, and then the Scissor Walker will turn on the dryer, and then you just die inside of it. It's as goofy as it sounds, by the way. But there's quite a lot with this run that we'll be going over. Funny enough as well, I'm not going to be doing too much of the tech here because it kind of hurts your hands, and also it would be really loud for the microphone, I think. But part of the speed tech of this game is slamming your keyboard like an ape, which is stupid. I found this skip on accident because the game is so broken. I kept, you know, having cutscenes accidentally skip faster than they're meant to. And I was able to skip some unskippable cutscenes in total. Why? I'm not entirely sure. But if you just keep mashing your keyboard and mouse in a particular way, it can break the game in some ways. That being said, since I got a new computer, it's been less reliable, meaning I think the worse hardware you have, the better the game runs, which is very odd to think about. Anyway, we have a few things we have to do. First things first, we're going to go to fake Facebook in this game. We're going to post to social media. We're just going to tweet, hey, murder. And now we're going to be hitting a QTE. This QTE is questionable. All right, I didn't get it. But this is one of the mandatory ones you have to do. This is going to give us a special key in a moment, but it's going to have a skill check we need to pass.
I didn't mean to frighten you.
If you don't pass it, well, you die.
You look very pale.
Are you alive?
What?
Also, something really weird. I don't know why. In the credits, this guy's name is the Fat Crew Member. Like, they specifically mentioned that. Also, he just gets... he must be made of, like, the softest material possible because, yeah, he got obliterated by a cart. Did you miss that QT, by the way? Yes, that cart does actually kill you, too. I don't know how it gained so much speed in such a minor amount of time, but it really did, didn't it? Anyway, now we do have the key card. The key card's going to allow us to go to the other level of the ship here, which will be the end of Monica's section. In this game, we play as 3 different characters. We have Monica, Leonard, and Rooney. Most of the game will be taking place as Rooney, however, we'll be going through Monica and Leonard first, just to kind of give the pacing of the game. It's not a super long run. In fact, you know, most good times tend to be about 39 minutes. Usually add a little bit more just to kind of show up some strange happenings in this game, just because this game definitely has some questions with it. But yeah, kind of going with this game's history as well. I talked earlier about, also the answer to this code is going to be 314. It's supposed to be the guy's birthday. 0314. But with the game's history, this really did have a lot of high-profile people behind it. They really did believe in NIghtCry, which it's always kind of funny because whenever he'll talk about Having a good team for a project, usually that sounds like a promising thing, but there are a lot of names associated with this project that you would probably not believe if I told you. A good example, that wonderful ambient noise you hear in the background, that OST, you can barely hear it, I think. The music in this game is made by the same composer of Metal Gear Solid, which is surprising. Why does she walk like she needs to use the bathroom? She just built that way. She just does that. Oh yeah, canonically, she's also apparently really drunk at this point, because her character motivation is she's trying to, quote-unquote, score with a rich man to take care of her 7 brothers. I'm not joking. That is the unironic, serious lore of this game. There's a lot of questionable decisions NIghtCry has, like this QTE where she just jams all the buttons. By the way, if you don't have the light on, it doesn't work. But yeah, she just hits all of them, and that works. Fixes the elevator. But yeah, let's see what else NIghtCry had. The Scissorwalker is designed by horror legend Masahiro Ito, directed by the original creator of Clock Tower, and the director of Ju-on the Grudge, the Japanese original movie. What else do we have? We have a bunch of Castlevania game designers who are involved in this. Who else? They have Barry Burden, who voices a character from the original Resident Evil. Apparently, Sam Raimi backed this game pretty heavily because his name shows up massively in the credits. There are a lot of big names involved in NIghtCry. And it ran into a few hiccups. Anyway, we're going to check this locker, and then we have a jump scare. We're going to ignore it. We're going to just fight out the Scissorwalker. You can actually skip this a little bit if you're fast enough. However, sometimes it's just a little bit too quick on the loading. But luckily, avoiding her is pretty easy. There's a fire extinguisher right here. It's kind of convenient that every time we get attacked, it's a fire extinguisher. Every single time. That works out quite well for what we want to do. And yeah, I suppose the main thing with the heals is that she didn't have enough time from leaving the party. And then, I guess she's drunk, which is the other explanation. There's also a lot of, Clock Tower isms in this game. For those of you who may be unfamiliar with the series, Clock Tower has a lot of points which are, hey, you did thing barely wrong, okay, you die. Bruce Campbell is not in this game, no. This game, I actually don't know who the most prominent voice actor is. It might be Barry Burden. Anyway, if you don't open that door, if you open that door without the light, you die. And as well, if we didn't make all the phone calls that we did, you would not be able to pass the first level, and you would also die. There's a lot of, if you didn't do blank, you die. Anyway, there's chapter 1 done, and now we're on chapter 2, Leonard. Leonard's pretty fun. He is certainly a built man. He is built like a brick house. He is very solid. The way he stands, the way he runs. This is Leonard. You can really feel the power in all of his steps. Also, I guess now is a good time to talk about what the story of this game is. The story is that you're a part of a college class, I think, who's on a cruise ship. However, the cruise ship is having a cult ritual to get into super heaven. Which, I guess that's how it goes. There's a lot of plot beats that aren't going to entirely hold up, but just know that there's a cult nearby. And Leonard's gonna fully take on the cult all by himself. This man, this just old college professor, is going to single-handedly be... Wait, where are you going, Leonard? He's going to single-handedly take down an entire cult and be the ultimate detective. Anyway, I've kind of mentioned this game's a point-and-click game. What did I tell you? Like the Metal Gear Solid music, this game is also a stealth game. I kind of wish I were kidding, but this game has genuine stealth mechanics. What does that mean? If you get hit by the lights, you immediately die. They peel off your skin. Also, the game is frozen once again. It does that. So, I don't know why they added stealth mechanics to a point-and-click game. If you get caught by that light, yeah, they just surround you, and it's an immediate game over. I think that is one of the only times that happens, which is odd. There's a lot of things in this chapter that are odd. And, of course, I'll be pointing them all out. One, if you don't grab these gloves, you can't beat the chapter. We have a baseball. We'll be using it to pass a puzzle later. We have a radio station. There are 20 channels. The correct one is 16. There's a note that tells you that. If you guess wrong 3 times, you immediately die. He's just so shy that he got it wrong. He just collapses. I think if you also pick like 13, I think you also die immediately. It's like 13 or 4. It's one of the unlucky numbers. You just die instantly. I think a ghost comes in and kills you or something. There's a lot of you just die in the game. Because that's what clock tower games are, I suppose. Next, we're going to be grabbing some glue. There's a lot of, like, old-school 90s point-and-click, like, items in this game. It's like, oh, you need the baseball to pass the baseball puzzle. You need the glue to pass the glue puzzle. You need, the pit of the damned to pass, the pit of the damned, which also, look, this is an empty pit. But what have I told you? It's not empty. It actually has... I guess just some guy. We don't need to look at this pit, by the way. It's just here. Also, there were like 4 of them. Leonard just didn't look hard enough. Like, oh, sorry, 5. There were 5 of them. He didn't look hard enough. Apparently, you know how the pit was empty? It wasn't. There was a dude in there the whole time. Leonard just doesn't have object permanence, I guess. They're doing the old peekaboo thing. They covered their face until Leonard looked in, and then they... poof. Anyway, I bet you're wondering, baseball. Why do we have a baseball? Because, we have a stealth mission we must do again, and the only way to distract the guard is with some good old-fashioned American baseball. He's gonna throw it. A perfect throw for Leonard. And then, the guy is just so stunned that he heard a baseball, he, goes to check it out. However, what if I told you that wasn't a distraction? It was actually a murder. He's gone. Nowhere to be found. The guy has disappeared. He is no longer in the game. He is now vanished. We also found his broken mask. I don't know how he died of that, but he is gone. He got taken to the land of baseball, which is certainly a path one can take, I guess. Imagine being so fascinated by American baseball, you just teleport to the land of baseball. Anyway, we do have a fun quick time event here. We're going to look at this mask, and there's going to be a ghost. We're going to take out the ghost like I take out a lot of problems. We're going to get a bottle of wine thrown into a wall. I'm kidding, obviously. There is a broken mask right here. We're going to glue it back together with the broken mask we found earlier. Hey, look, now we have a complete mask. For some reason, yeah, the wine bottle is the only answer. If you try leaving, this mannequin will kill you. So you have to grab, like, the wine bottle and just, like, throw it to the wall. There's nothing that really tells you that it's the wine bottle. A lot of people might die to that because you just keep clicking on things and then, hey, wine bottle. But there it is. As well, now we have the mask. We're going to pass the next stealth section by just blending in. I should mention right now, because now is a great time. I talked about how this is a mobile game. If it wasn't apparent, that's why the main menu here is the way it is. You can see it was definitely designed for a touchscreen. Also, we just run by these guys with our cell phone out, like, hey, you know, I don't have a flashlight, I have a cell phone. We're going to ignore the cult. We're just going to go inside this cabin. And while we're here, we're going to score some numbers. There's a phone on this table. It has some guy's phone number on it. We're going to take it. And then we'll just go right in here. We're going to grab some rope. That's going to be used for a couple things coming up. Actually, I think it's one, but we have to rope climb twice. And now we have a few things to do in here. First things first, I do need the ability to learn about the truth. So we're going to read this book about cults. We're going to ignore everything else pretty much, and we're going to grab this spooky hand. And then I will make a phone call. This will distract the guard downstairs. And now I'm going to use this rope, which is very pointy, or I don't know how to define it, but it like bends. Oh, the cutscene's a lot longer, or 2 cutscenes more than I thought. Yeah, Leonard falls down because he doesn't, I guess he has slippery hands? So, and that's your hint that you need gloves? You know, once you can't get the gloves anymore, so if you didn't grab them, you just die here? So you have to use the gloves on this well, because the hint was that you fell down scaling the building. If you don't use gloves, you fall into the well and die. Anyway, now that we're here, we need to use that spooky hand we found. Let's see if I can get the skip out of the way. I did not. Like I said, you just mash your keyboard and your mouse, and then sometimes you might skip cutscenes slightly faster. Anyway, here's a QTE. You just have to kind of keep your hand in the heart. You're gonna have the equivalent of like a mobile game jump scare in a moment here. There's gonna be a spooky ghost showing up. I think about like now-ish, come like right about here. There it is. Oh my god, a ghost. Oh no, whatever will I do? It's a ghost. Ah. All right, and then we did it. From here, we just have a variety of checks we're going to be doing. First things first, we're going to be looking at the floor plan that teaches you, hey, wait a minute, there's floor here. After that, we're going to look in this coffin like 5 times. Mainly, it's like, hey, a coffin. You open the coffin. There's a dude in here. And then you're like, hey, a dude has cuts on his body. Which, that never gets addressed again, by the way. The guy has like a bunch of weird scars carved into him, and then he just okay 5 minutes later. Also, it's the boat. Oh my god, wait a minute, the boat? Oh no. Also, just to show you something silly, there's just a picture of sushi in this game. Which, if you're wondering about that sushi posted by Rasta, I think if you paid like $300 on Kickstarter, you can put pictures in this game. So that guy paid $300 to post a picture of sushi in this game. Imagine having such a great lunch. You paid $300 to tell everyone about it. Anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this music. Apparently this is some royalty-free music and also the best song in this game. We're now Rooney. We're now in a flashback. If you're wondering why the timing looks weird, it takes place during different times. Anyway, the game is kind of frozen once again. It does that a lot. The goal here is talk to everyone. We're going to be doing it twice, except for important people. Important people we'll talk to 3 times, which are Jerome, Leonard, and Monica. I'm not sure why they make you talk to them 3 times, but the whole goal here is, if you don't do this, you literally can't pass this area. That being said, what do you all think of the game so far? I hope you all enjoy it. There's certainly a lot to be said about this game. Also, here's a guy that looks like the guy from Shenmue. I think this is a Kickstarter backer, and he paid money to just be in the game, and he just stands there, and that's it. Alrighty, let's see here. See, I'm getting the game breaking today, but not in a good way. I'm getting it in the game intermittently freezes kind of way. There we go. Okay. So the game breaking is good, except for when it's not good. Then it's bad. You're enjoying all the fun facts. I'm glad you're enjoying the fun facts about it. It is certainly an interesting game. All right, now that we've talked to everyone, you can actually see Monica back here. That means you did it right. And now we can begin the really the back half of the game. The fun music is gone, but here we go. What is that run cycle? She just walks like that. That's Rooney. She tries her best. Anyway, more fun things about this game. A lot of people kind of wonder, could this game have been better if it got more money? I always kind of wonder that because the soda death was actually heavily advertised when this game happened. A lot of the game's quirkiness was heavily advertised alongside the game. And I always kind of wonder if it was a chicken or the egg thing. Another thing that you won't be able to see because it was a part of the Kickstarter thing, but you can probably look it up. The trailer for this game that they had featured, I think it was like a mother and son on a cruise ship, and then the son is playing NIghtCry on an iPad, but then the Sister Walker comes out of the iPad, which is as goofy as it sounds. Anyway, now Jerome is gone. We're going to talk to the sofa like 4 times. After doing that, Rooney realizes, hey, a shower's on. It wants you to look around the room before starting the event, but you can only just talk to the same sofa 3 times and it counts. And now we have the Scissor Walker. The game is also frozen once again. I need a game freeze counter. There's been a lot of those. But now we're back in business. Rooney also has this weird thing where she'll slightly pause before entering a door. Like, she can't figure out how to open the door, so she has to really take her time. We're now officially hitting chases that have an actual problem. The longer that you run away, the more likely it is that you trip. This game does have a stamina system that I have never really talked about because it wasn't necessary. So you don't want to actually run too much. Normally when you start seeing the red surroundings, that's your cue to stop sprinting. If you exert too much stamina, she just collapses on the ground and has to breathe for like 7 seconds or something. But we go into the movie theater because everything here is blue, and then Rooney can blend into her natural environment. So we're gonna hide right here. There is a QTE. Oh, hey, look, there it is. Good job, Rooney. I'm very, very proud of you. Just kind of collapsed. Don't worry, though. We can hide right here. I know the Scissor Walker just saw us trip, but you know what? We'll trip again. You see, they'll never expect it. We trip right next to all these chairs. It's the perfect camo. The Scissor Walker is also, not the smartest, I guess, or the most observant. So it worked out. Also, her hair just does this sometimes, or like bounces. Hey, for once it didn't actually bounce that high. Normally it's like very bouncy for some reason. Anyway, we come here for a phone number. Oh, there it was. It kind of freaked out. That was the whole reason why we came here. We wanted one phone number. This phone number is used to actually call Kelly, who, Kelly's gonna be really fast. We don't know how she gets around, but while we're running back, so keep in mind, Kelly just left this movie theater, right? She was just inside of here. From the time it takes us to run down this hallway, I'm gonna tell you all that Kelly did. Just keep in mind, the movie theater's right here, right? And all we've done is run down this hallway. There's no other exits in the movie theater. None. We're gonna walk up these stairs. Kelly calls to tell us, Rooney, I set up a safe house and I found like 10 people, and now we're all inside the safe house. So I don't know how she did it, but yeah, we now have a safe house. which is down this hall. We do have a little bit of a run, so while it's happening, I do like showing off some of the Kickstarter backers whenever we do these. We got the sword, you have a tiger, chilling in a chair. See, we have a lot of people in here. We're also going to call Kelly to let us in, which is why we needed the phone number. Yeah, apparently she ran really fast because she found all of these people, and she's just chilling in here. She's that good, yeah. She found a lot of the characters from the main game, and she found a Kickstarter backer. I don't know how she did it, but she did it. Anyway, we need this person for that phone number. We need Kelly for another, the main mission, and then this guy gives us a key. Something that's actually really funny too, by the way. I haven't talked about it much, but in Chapter 3 is where we start doing a lot of the big speedrun tech. A lot of this game has been rather playing it straight for the most part. However, whenever you do a speedrun, you kind of wonder, how do you break the game? What can you do? What's the big trick here? Which we actually do have one. So I talked about clock tower-isms early. The general idea is you have to do bizarre things in the early game, because if you don't, they end up being a massive puzzle in late game that if you don't do, you lose everything. Like, you get bad endings if you don't do them. Which, I've already failed that. If I already continue normally at this point, I would be soft-locked into one of the game's bad endings. The reason why is because during the Monica chapter, normally you're required to get a pool ball, like a billiard ball, which is supposed to give you numbers for a code. That's actually why you saw the billiards and 9-ball in there. It's a puzzle for like the really end game. And yeah, if you forgot that, you just straight up can't get a good ending. It becomes literally impossible. Like, not impossible that you can't brute force it, impossible to where if you try brute forcing it, you immediately die. Because there's someone at the puzzle who's ready to kill you. Alright, so I'm going to talk to this guy a few times. There we go. Now we have Jerome's phone number. This link to the channel is wrong. Happens. Once you have Jerome's phone number, we can just proceed downward. And we're going to answer a quick phone call right on this platform. It just gives you a quick hint like, hey, don't trust this person, which is strange. There's a lot of things in this game that were meant to be hints, but unless you're like really paying attention, I guess, that's kind of hard to tell that they were meant to be hints. Also, I make sure to walk close to the screen, because if you walk over here, you actually get a scare event, which loses its time. Right now as well, we're going to have a QTE, which I'm just going to let you guess how this goes. Let's just say Rooney really tries her best. That's the best way I can put it. Why she is stopping, I don't know. Maybe she's just so stunned. Go, Rooney, go! Alright, Rooney made it. She did it. Good job, Rooney. I like that the scissor walker politely waits, by the way. She just waiting in the back with her scissors. So, the stalker is triggered by two things. One, if you do certain things in the environment, you'll spawn her. Two, if you take too long, you'll also spawn her. So yeah, so it's just like Clock Tower. Funny enough, speaking like just like Clock Tower, I mentioned this game's related to Clock Tower. I didn't tell you how. So, a part of this game's budget, you know, they have $300,000. Part of the budget was specifically used to call themselves the Clock Tower spiritual successor. They paid to use that title. I don't know why, but they did. Anyway, this is an RNG puzzle. It is one of these 4 crates. It could be any of the 4. It's different every single time. You know when you get the different camera angle. And Rooney is going to open that crate in the smartest way possible. She's going to use a forklift in only a way Rooney can. I want to mention, by the way, Rooney is not forklift certified. Don't try this at home. I don't think it works this way. Admittedly, I've never driven a forklift, but something tells me you're not meant to do this. Anyway, I landed all the way over there after the crash, and there's Monica. She's actually passed out. She's her arms in the underground, but it worked out. Don't worry, she'll be fine. There we go. They bought Clout. I don't even know if they bought Clout because Clock Tower hadn't been a game franchise since 2003 at this point. I think the original director really just kind of wanted to, you know, redo Clock Tower in the modern age. So I will say one thing. As weird as NIghtCry is as a game, I actually really like this game because I best define it that it is brimming with passion. There's a lot that NIghtCry has, and the most important thing is that it had a lot of passionate people behind it. The people who worked on NIghtCry really did believe in NIghtCry, for better or for worse. Which, with a lot of games, I guess that could be rather appreciated. I like this game. I think it's goofy. I think it's fun. I also play all the Clock Tower games. I played all of them at one point or another. It's a fun game. But, it definitely has some problems. Alright, so we have one more major section, and then we're going to start breaking the game pretty heavily, I might add. So, we're gonna meet the next character. I think his name's like Eric or something. We had Monica in a crate. However, there's a mission with Monica that you have to make a choice. Normally the choice is when you talk to Eric here, you're thinking, can you trust him? A phone call earlier told you don't trust him. So I'm going to tell him about the safe room. That'll also let us get the power back on so we can proceed forward. I'll now talk to him one more time. And now we're going to be crawling through the vents. We're going to vent. Eric will also give you medicine if you talk to him long enough, which you can then give to Monica and yourself. And then that will allow you to actually, you know, live the late game, because otherwise you'll be poisoned. Also, I don't know why the game does this. This is a very interesting camera angle, very interesting, one might put it. And, yeah, we're gonna crawl through this vent. Now, the funny part is if you don't check this vent into a QTE event, what will happen is you'll actually immediately die if you crawl too far in. However, I'm gonna grab the cell phone and I'm gonna click on the exit. What that's gonna allow me to do is break the game. Because what happens, like I said, there's a death point, a death trigger, and by just clicking at the end, you can't use that here. So I bypassed the death trigger, and Rooney just stands up in the vent. She goes from crawling and, you know, really showing her stuff to just standing, and now I've avoided death. So this is a fun glitch. It's an item glitch. It allows you to bypass things you're not meant to bypass, whether it be endings, cutscenes, deaths. You can bypass quite a lot with it. So we're gonna just walk forward. I'm gonna step right here. If I walk any more forward, it's an immediate game over and we get a bad ending. You can't use that here though. So now I have deactivated the ending and I can proceed forward. That is the tell. Also, there's Leonard. They peeled off his skin. That is the tell, by the way, that you were supposed to take the medicine. There's a cutscene where you cut off Leonard's life support, and now Leonard is officially dead. We're now in the endgame. Well, endgame-ish. Like I said, questionable decision-making. But that's how we're able to bypass some of the stuff with that glitch. Anyway, you may be wondering as well what happened to the Kickstarter backers of this game. There's actually a real-time showcase of what happened. Here they are. They threw them off the boat. All the Kickstarter backers are now gone. They have been thrown out. I think all those people paid money for a custom death. And they crammed them all into one cutscene where they throw them off the boat. That's optional. Goodbye, Kickstarter backers. Oh, hey, I got the glitch. So there's the glitch, by the way, that I've been trying to get all game long. If you mash buttons, you can immediately get cutscene skips, which during QTEs will immediately bring you to the QTE. You can also skip unskippable cutscenes. It's actually a really cool glitch. The only problem is it is inconsistent as hell. Getting record requires you to get all of them, which grinding record in this game is actually hell. Originally, what you were meant to do in that cutscene is originally what you had to do for that point is you had to get the pills from Eric. You then had to go back to Monica, and then you also had to take the pills yourself. Anyway, Scissor Walker spawned. Now, I want to know, this is a live wire and water? And then she just walks away. Not to mention, like, Rooney just electrocuted this water. I don't know a lot about electricity. I play video games. She'd be dead, right? Like, she'd be dead, right? I think electricity and water still is active after, like, 5 seconds, right? Like, it doesn't just go away, does it? I guess she took the plug out, but, yeah, apparently Rooney's immune to electricity. Anyway, we're now officially back on the regular boat. Everyone in the safe house has died. The Scissor Walker got to them. You can do a side mission here where you'd be getting the billiard ball from the, it's the girl who gave us the phone number earlier. Not Kelly, but the other one. If you go in here, you can find the billiard ball if you talk to her. However, we're not going to do that because I didn't do the mission for Monica, and also it takes way too much time to do and we don't need to do it. Right now, for this section, we need 2 Scissor Walker chases to happen. The first one happens because it will always happen when you go upstairs here, and we need to get upstairs. Oh no, the Scissor Walker. Luckily for us, we routed in a lot of good escape points. This is going to be really fun because, believe it or not, they actually got a live reaction in the game. I don't know how they did it, but NIghtCry captured in real time the reviewers of this game reviewing NIghtCry. So Rooney is the game reviewers, and the Scissor Walker is NIghtCry. Okay. And I bet you're wondering, what is Rooney going to do to the Scissor Walker? It's a rerun? No, this is live. Well, she's going to take her straight to the trash. Anyway, the Scissor Walker can't escape and just dies for a moment. So she's gone. You can go back in the room. We don't have to do this, but this cutscene is so goofy, I'm going to show it. This is how you get one of the billiard balls. You can see it right underneath his head. This is a real cutscene in NIghtCry. Anyway, NIghtCry. Yeah, you get a billiard ball that way. There are 3 of them. That's how you get one of them. Hold on. Electricity doesn't remain in water. Okay, I'm glad. Like I said, I don't know a lot about electricity. I just understand that if there was a live wire next to a pool of water, I probably wouldn't enter it. But yeah, we got rid of the Scissor Walker, and now we can make our way upstairs. We're going to be getting another Scissor Walker scare, funny enough, like almost immediately after the other one. The reason why is because we have a room coming up that I'm going to need a VIP card. The only way to get it is earlier I got some guy's number. That guy has the card. You don't ever talk to the guy, he just has a key card for you. And you need to talk to him to get into Jerome's room for some reason. Anyway, I'm going to talk to this guy next to this dartboard. And, Well. Oh my god, he has darts in his mouth. That's not how you play darts. So the scissor walker, instead of walking up to Rooney and using her giant pair of scissors, grabbed several darts and threw them at Rooney's head. She also missed the first 3, which I can't tell. Is she good at aiming or like she just miss? Why would you throw darts? Anyway, we hide under the bed, and now I can go get the darts. That's how you play darts? Can't say it's how you play darts. Anyway, we are almost done with the run. You know, originally I made the estimate a little bit longer because I know it's going to go. Originally I had it on like a 50-minute estimate, but I probably could have kept it at 50 instead of 55. Either way, we'll be saving some time here. We are close to done-ish. We have a few more things left to do. First things first, we grabbing the VIP card. That's the whole reason why we did that. Which, yeah, here's the 8-ball puzzle I was talking about, like right here. Luckily, though, the answers are almost always the same. This puzzle is actually kind of weird, though, and you might laugh. The code coming up is RNG, but it's just 2 codes. So it's either one or the other. Like, I don't know, is it weird to have an RNG code that's only 2 codes? I feel like it is. It's 9-ball. Couldn't it be more than 2? I don't know. Like, I guess it just feels kind of odd to, like, why randomize it at that point? I only make it 2. Anyway, VIP card now lets us upstairs. At this point, if you do not have the 9-ball, you would be locked out of an ending because we'll be having the owner of the ship spawn behind this wall. We'll actually be having that in a moment. First things first, we need to look at the computer. That's going to give us knowledge that we need. We're also going to read this diary, which computer, diary, computer. It just teaches you, hey, something's weird here. There's also just a hunk of meat on the ground that has no purpose. It's just there. Anyway, here is the skip. So I'm going to grab the phone again. There's a guy right here. I'm going to click on the puzzle. That's going to prevent the bad ending. You can't use that here. We don't want to use a bad ending. So while he's watching me type in the code, I'm just going to do this. It's either 1, 2, 3 or 1, 2, 3. So let's do this. I think it's this one. Yep. And hey, look at that. I brute forced the code. You're not supposed to be able to do that, but hey, luckily I know the answer. Maybe adding a third goal is a stretch goal. Well, apparently one of the stretch goals was having a 4th scenario, but they couldn't add it. I'm pretty sure it was going to be Jerome, but they couldn't add it. Anyway, this puzzle is also on the phone, so you're supposed to look at the social media. This is like the final boss. It's 8 p.m. FTE, which it's always the same. If you're wondering, how do you find this out? It's on the phone. Like, you friend Jerome on Facebook, and then you find it there. There's also a safe. We're going to rob the ship owner. He has a lot of money, so clearly we'll take the eye. We have money in the eye, money or the eye. We don't need money. We need eye. I mean, in fairness, if you saw a safe full of money and an eye, wouldn't you take the eye? Free eye. Now that we are here, we are almost right at the end. If you don't look at all the notes I found, you would get a bad ending here. This is one of the things you can't bypass. So let's see. There is a 2-minute skip you can do here. I'm pretty sure I won't get it. I also don't really want it because it's a fun cutscene. But this is pretty much the end of the game. Sometimes it happens automatically.
I'm
It did it.
surprised to think someone outside our brotherhood has made it this far.
Wait.
Hey, look, actual voice acting.
That's right. I'm Vico Barazzo,
Also, there's Barry
the
Burden.
owner of this ship. We met in the cargo hold, Rooney. a belated greeting. Welcome to the Oceanus. I hope you enjoy your cruise with us to our eternal paradise.
No!
Oh no, we got grabbed by a man in a mysterious mask. Whoever could it be? Who could it be? I don't know. Who's helping him? I guess we'll never find out. Oh wait, hey, look, it's Jerome. It tells you in the subtitles. You can't turn these off.
Wait.
I think this is supposed to be a mystery because, like,
That voice.
they tell you right after that it's Jerome, but, like, why would you put it in the subtitles?
You okay,
I was like, oh, there's Monica. She got better without any medicine. She just figured it out.
I told you I would be right behind you.
Oh, hey, look, she broke his neck. Jerome is dead.
Forget about him. It doesn't matter how much of a big shot celebrity he is if he's lost his mind.
And then, here's the final puzzle. Monica's gonna break down the door instead of trying the other one. Or, trying to break the glass. And, you can either die here, where if you die, Eric is the only survivor. But the category is called 2 survivors. So we're gonna get the best ending. Anyway, time comes when I use this item, and GG. We will watch the ending, though. So I guess the estimate accounts for some of the ending here.
You still haven't let go of your death wish? You're right.
And if you're wondering, what will Rooney do? They use the eye, right?
I'm gonna survive. No matter what it takes.
I'll just let it play out for a bit.
No matter the cost.
Rooney?
So everyone in the room is just amazed that Rooney is pulling out her own eye. She just reached in there, yanked it out, and pops it right on in. She got a new eye. It's deluxe.
Revenge is yours. Destroy the man who turned you into a monster.
Anyway, if you want to see a live reaction of me being told I have to get out of bed this morning, check this out. They actually recorded me in the game.
Wait! This can't be! No! This can't be! Wait! Hey, no, wait! No, wait. No, wait.
And, hey, look, he made no attempt to get away, but, they got him. Oh no. Anyway, they just get him. You think he would have tried running away instead of slowly walking backwards, but, also he turns into green fire, and the boat turns into green fire. I guess that was part of the super heaven thing. I don't actually know, like, what they're trying to get. It's a cult. Well, let it be known, if you're being walked at slowly by someone with a giant pair of scissors, don't just slowly go back.
We found the ship requesting rescue. It's definitely the Oceanus.
By the way, this has been the music the whole time of the ending. That weird, ominous hum. Yeah, that was music, the whole time. Anyway, NIghtCry, hope y'all enjoyed it. This game is certainly something. I'm a big fan of NIghtCry. It is a very charming game, let's say that. And, well, I was happy to show it off for you. I have been your runner, Inkdices. I do a lot of horror games, really all of them. I also run Speedruns From the Crypt. I'm able to run it as well as we do because I run a lot of horror games. I got about almost 200 unique speedruns under my belt. Anyway, though, yeah, that was NIghtCry. I hope that you all enjoyed it. If you want to check me out, you can find me at twitch.tv/Ecdysis. You can probably find my name somewhere on here as well. I plan a lot of these shows. But yeah, that was this episode of Speedruns from the Crypt. I did want to plan a little bit earlier. It was a little bit belated, but yeah, this is just kind of a special birthday episode I wanted to show to all of you. We'll probably have a more topical episode in actually 2 weeks this time, I'm pretty sure. I'll be back around then. It has been fun planning these out, and we should be here for hopefully a good while for you. So I do hope you all enjoyed it. Before we do go, I do just want to say really quick. Game Zone Quick Express is returning to TwitchCon from September 20th to the 22nd. You can use !GDQX to find more information in Twitch chat. As well, any subs, Prime Gaming, gift subs, and bits are all appreciated on the GDQ channel, and it does help support the GDQ Hotfix in the interim. So thank you to anyone who did those. And I hope that you all enjoyed tonight's episode of Speedruns from the Crypt. We will be back in about 2 weeks. We'll have more then. Until then, I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day or night. As well, if you did miss out on Challenger Approaching or Speedruns in the Crypt, stay tuned as we replay both of the shows after the break. Anyway, have a wonderful rest of the day or night, and take it easy.